alive because like Reggie Hudlin said, this is, this will last a long time, whether it's being published or not.
Right. That's the beauty of good content. That's the real beauty of good content. So, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, we're just gonna go a quick summary of Miss J. I call her Miss J. I can call her Miss Ching, whatever you want to call her.
I let them call me Miss J.
Yeah, Miss J. She's hot. she's cool. She's hip. She's hip with the program. You know what I'm saying?
No,
with the blackness.
Static hat.
Yes, with the static. Oh, thank you. Stop it. Stop. Please. I'm having a bad hair day. Please stop it. Okay, here we go. So for those of you who didn't know, Miss Jackie Ching, Miss J, started in journalism, writing for Newsweek's, and I think you said in China or in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, which is now part of China, yeah.
Okay, I'm so, oh my God, please protect me.
It is part of China now, yeah.
But it wasn't originally. It wasn't
No,
originally.
it was a British colony when I was growing up there.
Oh wow, so no, that's news to me. So people walk around LA, man, how you doing there?
Yeah? Yeah.
I like a cup of tea and some noodles. Yeah.
Cool, blimey. Oh my God, they'd kill me if they heard me.
Bloody hell, mate. Bloody. So that's bullshit. I want to see people like wax on, wax off. I want to see some stuff like that.
They can do that.
I want to break boards and stuff like that.
In 1997, Britain had to give back Hong Kong to China. Ouch!
Ouch.
They were like, here, take it back. Ow! And then people in Hong Kong were like, no.
No. And we like it. We like this new life.
Now they're screaming in the streets about it. There's a lot of protests. And
that's intriguing. That's something I have to go and do my research on. I have to go do my research on that. So, jumping into the skinny of it, let's get into it. Question number 1. Miss J, where in the fudge-sickles did you meet Dwayne Mcduffie?
Now, looking back into the haze of time,
his time.
I met him at a convention, probably in New York, probably New York Comic-Con. And, Dwayne was really good. That's how he met a lot of people. Like, I know Ivan was there, and Dwayne recruited him from one of the cons as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I must have met him at a convention.
Intriguing.
Yeah, back then, my husband, Prentice Rollins.
Yes. She's actually...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the speculation. It's the mystery of it all. Like, I like to let people figure it out for themselves. I didn't know this until I reached out to Miss J, and I was like, yeah, I had an interview with Princeton, yeah, I got to talk to Princeton. She's like, you mean my husband? I was like, you married to Mr. Rollins?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were looking to reach him, yeah.
Yeah.
Back then, he was like showing his artwork around conventions, so we were at a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also very nerdy, and I was collecting Star Wars toys. So.
Nerd life. Yeah. Nerd life. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Cowabunga. So, I know you worked as an editor, but you also did a little bit of writing too as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm basically, I was Milestone's Associate Editor with Joe Illidge.
Ooh.
Yeah. And, so I worked on all the books, like, all those pages that didn't have comic book drawings, that was me. Like
wow, the writing.
Yeah, like the company line where, we had fan letters and I'd write back to the fans. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, so could you tell us, because I think I spoke to you about this before, but I want to say it for the fans. What comic book character was your favorite, or who did you enjoy the most? Like, just like the speculation of, what's coming out next? Like, what's going to be next? Like, I can't wait. Just...
That's what I was like. I would every month, because, I'd read a new script or read a new issue. Maybe I didn't work on it, and I'd be like, that's my favorite character. He's my favorite character, or she. And, it's hard to pin one down, but since you're asking, I will say that Icon has always been, he was the first Milestone character I worked on. And I just love that, you know, he's a classic, iconic superhero, you know, all powerful, like, you know, Superman, basically. His story is so original because, you know, that's from the mind of Dwayne Mcduffie. He, you know, is an alien who arrived on Earth during slave days in America, and then his body absorbed DNA of the first person he came into contact with, who's Miriam, a slave on a plantation. And so he was raised as a slave, and then eventually became a conservative and a Republican, which is, you know, I would like to hear more of Dwayne's ideas about that journey, right?
Right. And just to add on to that, like, I know a lot of people like to, you know, think that, you know, if you're a minority, you're supposed to be a Democrat, which is not true, because a lot of people are Republicans. Because even myself, I would consider that I think I might actually fall into the lines of Republican, because I like being self-made and I don't like depending on people. And I believe in, if you work hard for the things that you want, then you will get them, you know, not sitting back and waiting to receive things from people. And I think a lot of people who fall under the Democrat Party, they look more to be like pampered in a sense. But that's just my particular say about some Democrats. Not saying all, because I don't want to get into politics. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how. Yeah, I don't want to get into politics, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people
but you know, Trayvon, you know, also the Republicans were not the same back when Dwayne was writing these stories, you know, in the early 90s, mid 90s.
Right.
Kind of went cuckoo after the Tea Party took over in the late 90s. And now are they even conservative now? They just take money and spend money. You know, the national debt is higher than it's ever been, you know. They're hugely wasteful. So, you know, they're not the Republicans of our daddy's day.
The old. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, there are good things and there are bad things in every element. You know, so, like, you can't just, like, put one against the other and go, you guys are bad because you don't like ketchup. But moving forward. How was it working with Dwayne Mcduffie? Please just give us some insight on that.
Oh, man. I wish he was around for me to tell him this, but it was great. He was a real, I've worked for a lot of people since, obviously, but he is the only one I can say was my mentor, not just my, you know, my supervisor, my boss. He was always, you know, he was always teaching people. You know, if you're insecure, you don't want to share your genius because you don't want other people to catch on, you know. But he was not insecure. He wanted you to learn, and he wanted you to get better so that, you know, the company would be stronger. And I don't, you know, we always picked it up so quickly. But, you know, he was always teaching, and great. It was fantastic. It was like going to college, but also working at the same time.
Wow, that's a mouthful, because, like, it's crazy when you hear about certain people and you see certain things in their work, and you see certain things in their personality, like whether it's an interview or something, and then like and you can't meet that person yourself, but you know, like, that's who that person is. And I could tell, like, just from what everybody tells me, everybody says the same thing. Dwayne Mcduffie was extremely helpful. He was extremely, like, considerate with what you wanted. He was very, like, open to, like, suggestions and, like, things like that and that nature, and just very supportive. And, like, I was saying, not just with comic books, but any company I want to have with Respect My Nerds, like, I want to have that type of energy. I want to have that type of energy where we encourage each other at work.
That's so right. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so hang on, let me see here.
He was like, if he didn't agree with you, he wouldn't just say no or yell or, you know, say that's ridiculous, or just shove it under, you know, and put it in the round file. Or he would explain why it wouldn't work. You know, he was he was able to explain why something would or wouldn't work. And you know what I mean? Instead of just,
Yes.
no, that's a dumb idea. Next, you know.
No, get out of here with that. That's far-fetched. Oh, okay. So. What was one of the more challenging things that you found about like working under Milestone as an editor? And I know you wrote a few things. Like, what was some of the more like challenging things, like away from like maybe like meeting deadlines or
Yeah,
like?
sure. Deadlines are tough. We had a a big flat file, metal flat file in the center of the production room, and we'd had all the artwork was in there, so nice and protected, but there was one drawer that had, fill-in issues. There was a period, honestly, I'm not just, I wouldn't name names anyway, but there was an artist who was very late, or maybe there's more than one issue that's very late, and we used the fill-in issue, and then we used a fill-in issue, and then we didn't have any more fill-in issues. So that is stressful.
Trust me, I know how that can be a challenge. Like I tell like everybody this every time I get a chance to talk to him. I told Mr. Ho Chi Anderson, I told Matt Wayne, I told Preston, like when I was in high school, I ended up losing my football scholarship due to injuries. And so like it's fine. It's fine. My body. Like,
But you
and
know
look,
what? Now you're not going to be injured like worse. You know, a small injury
yeah,
other than a big injury. Like,
yes,
yeah.
I wouldn't have the brain that I have right now because
Oh,
concussions. Mm-hmm.
right.
But like I had a friend when I was in middle school that could draw and do comics, and he like encouraged me to like do it like if I'm bored. And so I used to draw a little bit of comics here and there like when I was in middle school. And so get out of high school, after football, after school, I'm used to going to football practice, used to training, and I had to find something to do, to exercise my muscle memory and things like my brain. And so I started just drawing comics here and there, and I would take them to school and like present them to like people in my class. And so I know like how difficult that can be, because for me, 6 pages took like a week.
Wow. Well, that's like almost a page a day. That's not too bad, right?
Yeah, but
What
when
do
you
you
got to
think?
go back, when you got to go back and edit, when you have to go back and edit things, because my handwriting is so sloppy, so I have to go back. I have to edit it. I have to, then I have to, I used to ink it. First, I used to go back, make a copy of it without the words. Then I used to have to ink it, and then I would try to write the words in neater this time. Then I have to go back, copy that, and then I'll color that. And so like it's a process on top of a process. A lot of like editing is like a very difficult thing when you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah, I know. That's why we had the benefit of, I don't know if you know the name, Steve Dutro. He did all our lettering. And almost all the lettering in Milestone Comics was by Steve Dutro. And he was so fast. That, he did not miss a single deadline, that guy.
Woo! That's
You
how you
need a
want them.
guy like that.
Like I thought about trying to like submit my resume to like a comic company. It's really short. I'm like, listen, I know how to do it all. If it needs to be the color, I can do that. If it needs to be like the editor or like the letterer or the inker or the pencilist, I know how to do it all. Okay. What was one of like what are some of the many things that you learned while working at Milestone?
Um, oh, wow. Communicating with artists, it isn't like having a monthly publication where it is really, everything hinges on a deadline. If you don't hand it in here, then it doesn't get done here, and then, everything gets pushed back. And then finally, but, artists, some of them, not all, can, work on their own clock, they've got different time, idea of time. So you have to be able to, like, nudge them without, like, breaking their spirit.
Right.
And, you have to say oh my gosh, here's another one. Like, not, like, there's some crazy, like, storytelling issues. what I mean is, like I've seen a panel where the character, okay, this is not Milestone, so I can talk about it because I won't be dissing anyone I know. I saw a comic book where the people talking were in the basement of a building, and the drawing was of the street level with feet walking by, and the balloons were going into a window.
Oh, wow.
To show that the people were talking inside the building. Now, the artist did that because he was running out of time, and it's so much easier to just draw a couple lines. You got the pavement, got window, and then stick the balloons, right?
Yes.
But see, that kind of thing, when I was starting out, I wouldn't dare to call an artist and say, redo that, because that's not okay. But Dwayne taught me I have to call and say, that's not okay. And I mean, you do have, if there's time, you need to do the visual storytelling the right way, right?
Right.
It's a real cheat to not have the people talking in the panel. It's just, So anyway, that's just an example.
Right.
And in the beginning, I wasn't able to do that. I was like, oh, okay, fine. It looks fine.
Yeah. You got to earn your stripes. Yeah, you got to earn your stripes. That's 100% okay. So, oh my God. Okay, I want to talk to you about this. Did you have a chance to work on the static, the anniversary issue 25? Did you get?
Oh, no, I don't think I actually worked on it, other than like company line and the the schedule of the art being delivered. But oh yeah, that was a big thing. I think they had several meetings with Paul Levitz and Jeanette Kahn over that. It was like
I know.
Yeah, that it was, I mean, I think they came up with a good compromise. Where they put the heart, and it did, and it was just them kissing. But that wasn't the image Dwayne wanted. So
Right.
it was watered down.
Right. I mean, like, I trust me. I know how it is when you're working with somebody that money's being involved in something like this. From our earlier days when I was 16 to 17, I did music and I got signed to a label, and I just didn't like being with them. I think I was with them for like a year, and so much of my work was being stolen and given to other artists. And just
ouch! The music industry's brutal. I'm sure. Yeah.
Like it's a Shark Tank. I tell them, like, dude, the music industry is a Shark Tank. That's why I stopped doing music, and I was like, okay, no, I know a lot of you guys, I will write for you. If you want me to write for you, you want me to write a verse for you, want me to write a song for you, we can do that, and I still get pensions, stuff like that, but we're going to talk about that. Okay. You worked on static issues. There's a few of them, but I want to talk about a few of these. You worked on issue 32, 33, 34, and 35. Which one of those did you have like the most fun with? I mean, because static's a fun read. I love static so much. Which one of those issues did you have the most fun with?
Trayvon, you're killing me. I mean, they all kind of were a good experience. But if you're looking for an anecdote, I'll tell you this one. Okay, I wrote an issue of Static, and I thought I came up with a great idea of because there's a scene in a train station where a character was losing consciousness, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if Static, uses electrical as a defibrillator, Yeah. I felt like if Static is going to see someone losing consciousness, wouldn't he do that, right? Dwayne came down on me. He said, no, that is completely irresponsible. Static would, he wouldn't do that because he could kill him. And I'm like, so he wouldn't let that go. He wouldn't let me write that.
Well, there was this one scene I read in the Static issue. It breathes my mind at the moment, but where he was on the train with his sister, and some guy was about to try to rob them, but they were the only ones on that particular train. So he zapped them. He was like, man, please zap. And so the guy was like,
an issue?
Yeah, that's in the issue. I'll find it for you. I
Oh my
promise you, I'll
God.
find it for you. I
Oh,
will
so
send
you
that to you.
green-lighted it in the end.
Yeah. So I thought that's what you
Who
was
wrote
talking
that
about for a
issue?
second. I gotta go back and find that because I know it's within like issue 10 to like 24. It's somewhere in there. It's
All right.
somewhere in there.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
So I have a question. I have another question for you, Miss J. If you could go back to Milestone, would you go back now?
Yes, I've always felt like, I've kind of been waiting for resurrection of Milestone. Dennis and Reggie have been working,
Trying.
trying. I don't know the whole, ins and outs of it because
I
I'm just
don't.
waiting. But, it hasn't happened. And, well, I feel like there's so many stories to be told. And, of course, I would want to be part of that. And especially if I do say so myself, I'm not so green anymore, and I know a lot more. So,
I mean, a lot more polished.
when I
A
was
lot more
working for
polished.
them, I was like, "Arr."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, guys, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this today.
Yeah.
We're gonna go this.
Hey,
Now you're like, huh?
yeah. Hey,
Now you're
where'd you
like,
get some camera footage?
right. I'm psychic, okay? Listen,
Yeah.
I'm talking to a shaman now. We're gonna resurrect Dwayne Mcduffie for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a whole interview with the soul of Dwayne McDuffie. It's gonna be great. Y'all tune in.
Please do.
Please, y'all tune in. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get the full coverage. Dude, oh, I actually when I was watching the interview, because I don't want to like misquote anybody, but there are a lot of Milestone um, videos and things like that now. But I remember I think Matt Wayne stated that in 1994 you guys could have broke out of the DC contract because y'all were already established and already had published so much content, and that he was actually thinking about breaking off and trying to go find another like backer to help publish. Like Marvel was a consideration, and just a few other people, but like he decided not to because of just meetings with Dennis and Derek and others, and also he didn't want to leave everybody in the dry because everybody who was working at Milestone, and I was like, see, that's the type of individual I can work for.
Yeah.
That puts the idea over himself. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people would have got fired if that would have happened.
I think, that's why I think you've heard this from other Milestone people, that we feel like we're a family. I mean, Dwayne did, stick up for us. And, yeah, it was very, I wish more people ran businesses like that, but it's so cutthroat in this world.
Yes.
I'm sure people would say, well, if he had done that, maybe it would have lasted longer. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? Right.
Yeah. But, he had his principles and the things he stood for. So that's very admirable.
Right. I 100% agree with you. Like just to think about something like that, and just to where Milestone is now, to like listen, I love DC. I love DC. But it's just when you're a company with the magnitude and the potential that you have, you don't want to sit in like the backseat of like someone else when you can break out. If you can break out, like a lot of singers don't just stay backup singers. Singers that were in a group and they want to break out. A lot of they don't sit there and go, no, I'm going to stay in the group. I'm going to stay here with all of you guys. Beyonce's and the Michael Jacksons of the world, and
yeah, I'll stay with the Jackson 5.
yeah, I'm going to stay with you guys. I like you guys. I'm going to stay with you guys. No, hell with all of you. I'm going for my money. I want to say this, Jackie. We love you. We love Milestone. We love what you guys did for like the future generations. I say this all the time. Like, I don't think the X-Men would have been what they were if it wasn't for the Blood Syndicate. I don't think Iron Man plasma suit would have been what it was if it wasn't for Hardware, because Hardware had the plasma suit first. I don't think like a lot of different like comics that took like inspiration from Milestone. This is so much. It's crazy. Like when I look at so many different comics, and I go, this reminds me of Milestone. You know, like just the magic that you guys had. It's real. Like I could just imagine how it was working.
And thank you very much. It's people like you that keep it alive, you know. You're the new generation. Really appreciate. Thank you.
Listen, if there is a relaunch, cause we heard that a relaunch is in the works, but if I'm one of the people that's humbled enough to get to come on and work, I would be more than glad to.
That would be amazing.
And keep that legacy going.
I'd back you up.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Listen, if you want to check out a comic that reminds you of Milestone, when it comes to just like the arts and crafts and gyps of it all, I would highly recommend Excellence. I would highly recommend Black.
That looks amazing. Really. That
listen,
really looks amazing. Who's the publisher?
The publisher is I think they're with Image. I think Image helps them publish.
Okay,
they're with Image.
I'm gonna get it. Thanks for the recommendation. That's great.
Yes. Shouts out to Brandon Thomas and Kerry Randolph and Emilio Lopez. But Miss J, we are out of time. Listen, I would sit here and talk to you all damn day.
It's been great, and I hope to see you in LA.
Yes, please. I don't want no COVID or anything, or I don't want to give COVID to you.
Can you guys like get that fixed up?
No, we're trying. We're trying. We're trying. Listen, I'm Trayvon Colvin. I have to do everything. People want me to be political. People want me to deal with science. People want me to deal with aliens. People want me to deal with the cat in a tree. Listen, it's hard being Trayvon Colvin, but
it is hard. Thank you.
Somehow I'll get it done.
Fight on,
Jackie,
Trayvon.
thank you. And tell Mr. Rollins I said hello and thank you so much for that interview.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
I'll talk to you again, okay?
Okay, thank you, Miss J.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, Trayvon.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.